It's the week of new coaches here at LaSalle as the Explorers have named a new men's basketball coach and a new field hockey coach. Hello, I'm Tegan Lamont.
And I'm Dana Pecora. The men's and women's tennis teams both won this week. Yay! You're watching LaSalle TV's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. It's been a rough patch for our spring sports, but we'll catch you up on the good, the bad, and the ugly that has been LaSalle Athletics this week.
And later, field hockey powerhouse Mackenzie Karcher sits down with Steve Silvestro to talk about the new coaching hire and plans for the team looking forward.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3. Number 1, after an intense 2-week search, the athletic department named Ashley Howard as the next head coach for the men's basketball team. The announcement came on Sunday, April 8th. The athletic director, Bill Bradshaw, said in a statement, quote, "As a former assistant coach here, we know firsthand that Ashley is an exceptional coaching talent who has a deep understanding of both LaSalle's basketball tradition and its important student-focused mission. Howard served as an assistant coach at LaSalle from 2004 to 2008. He then coached at his alma mater Drexel, then a year at Xavier, before becoming an assistant coach at Villanova. There he helped the Wildcats bring home 3 Big East championships and 2 NCAA championships. He will now serve as the 19th head coach in program history. On Monday, April 9th, the university introduced Howard and his family to the LaSalle community. Take a look.
Incredible day this is for our storied, long, wonderful history in men's basketball. But today, he brings us another dynamic leader, one who's going to extend LaSalle's incredible 21st century renaissance to our marquee sport of men's basketball. And while we thank him, let me assure you, Coach Wright, December 1st is coming.
During our thorough, intense search, we received over 85 inquiries for the position, including 32 Division I assistant coaches and 24 current and past Division I head coaches among the most prestigious conferences and elite programs in college basketball. We were looking for a coach who possessed a relentless drive for excellence in the classroom, in the community, and on the basketball court. Although our search was national in scope, we find the best fit for what we needed right in our backyard.
It's been a dream of mine. Once I stopped playing basketball and channel my focus into coaching and helping young people to be a head coach one day. Every day, the only expectation I have of these young fellas that are going to work diligent with me to build this program up to where we all know it could and should be, is to just be committed to working with each other, being legitimate with each other every day, and holding each other accountable. And if we do that, then I believe we'll have an opportunity to experience great success. My initial priorities right now are honestly to get my coaching staff together and get organized so we can, start to work with our guys and put all our time and energy into the guys that are already in this program. I think we have a great group of young fellas that are committed to excellence here at LaSalle, and I can't wait to get in the gym with them. But first and foremost, I just want to get my staff together so that we can all, start preparing for the future. I'm fully equipped to come in here from day one, having had experience as an assistant coach, and remembering all my old recruiting spiels and sales pitches to move forward and start to hit the ground running on the recruiting trail.
My most important thing for a new coach was to build a program, and I think that he's the most qualified person to build a program for LaSalle.
The enthusiasm he's bringing to the table, his energy is right where it needs to be. He has the right vision for the program, and all we can really do is just bow down and follow him, and everything will work out. I just feel like we just got a fresh start, just a whole different vibe that we bring to the table. It's just something new, and that got us excited. It's phenomenal, just him being here. He already has a feel for the school and the program, what they have in store. And also it's just that he's just not strictly basketball. He wants us to succeed in the classroom as well. So, everything is great right now.
We're going to use basketball to parallel a lot of life lessons. And, that's probably going to be the most important thing is just understanding that, everything you do in life, your attitude is a reflection of, how you'll be able to move forward. One thing we won't do is we will not sell each other short in terms of our effort, our commitment, and our passion to just being the best that we can be every day. So the one thing I will say is we're gonna play hard. You know, we're gonna play smart, we're gonna play together, and we're gonna play with pride in Salle basketball.
Number 2, field hockey also named a new head coach this week. Kelly Broadway was named head coach of the Explorers back on April 6th. Broadway was an assistant coach at Villanova for 3 years. Prior to that, she was an assistant coach at Temple, where she helped lead a nationally ranked Owls team to the championship game of the Big East tournament. Broadway is a former player, and her collegiate career was as a goalkeeper at Old Dominion. She had 25 shutouts in her career with the Monarchs and was a 2-time All-CAA first-team honoree. The Explorers are happy to welcome the new coach, and we wish them the best of luck this fall.
Number 3, basketball earned a pair of first-team All-Big Five honors in B.J. Johnson and Amy Griffin. B.J. was named to the Big Five team along 4 Villanova Wildcats. He was the only player not from Villanova to earn awards in both the leading scorer and free throw shooter categories. Johnson averaged 20.8 points per game while shooting 87% from the line. Amy Griffin earned all Big Five first-team honors with 1 representative of each team. Griffin led LaSalle with 15 points per game and set the program record in career blocks. So first thing I want to talk about is definitely Ashley Howard.
Yeah,
it's
big
definitely
news.
a big change here at LaSalle. We've had Coach Giannini here for 14 years and have been very mediocre for the majority of those 14 years.
Which is hard to say because it was true, but you know, people love G.
Right.
But more for the outside of the basketball.
Right. As a
realm.
person, G is the exact type of guy that you want to have leading a Division I program.
Yeah.
You want a guy that makes sure his players are in the classroom and make sure that they're graduating and doing just as well as students as they are as athletes.
Yeah.
But that being said, to be at a school for 14 years, you should probably be in the tournament more than once, and you should win sometimes.
Yeah.
Granted, his one tournament run was a deep run, but Ashley Howard now coming in, a very successful assistant coach, obviously, with Nova for 2 years. And then he's been with Drexel and Xavier, too. So he has the pedigree of knowing how to coach a basketball team.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
And he knows LaSalle, too.
Right, exactly.
He's
been
not
here
new
before.
to our community. And
Right. It's
you
not
know.
going to be too much of a learning curve getting back into Philly, getting into
Yeah.
the school itself. He should be able to recruit both in the city, which has been an issue for us,
Yeah.
and outside of it.
That's
So
what I
that's
was
a
going to
very
say.
good.
It's important because some of our best players have been transfers.
Right.
You know, we need, you know, good players that are coming from Philly, and I think he could definitely be, you know, a big help in recruiting.
Right. And then another thing we should definitely touch on is BJ. We talked about how he was named first team All Big Five, but he also got invited to play in the Portsmouth Invitational, where he played in his first game this week. He put up 12 points in 27 minutes with 7 rebounds as his team won. This is an invitational that is designed to showcase the best talent among seniors in the nation. And BJ, I think, is the 3rd highest scorer through the first games. So that's a very good showing for him leading up to an NBA draft where he hopes to at least contend to be drafted or to be involved in a summer league team. They play again tomorrow, so he's going to get his chance to really show what he's got to scouts.
Yeah. Well, we love BJ here, and we wish him the best of luck.
Always.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for our headlines. Let's see how our athletes fared in the past week. The baseball team's struggles continue as the team currently sits with a record of 9-21. Michael Jenkins had a rocky start on the mound in Game 1 against Rutgers. In the first 2 innings, the freshman gave up 5 runs. The Scarlet Knights continued to dominate at the plate and scored another 3 runs in the 5th inning, and then two other runs in the 6th. Rutgers won 11-1. Spectacular pitching from Jackson Ray and Matt Holt is what helped the Explorers pick up a win in Game 2. Ray and Holt combined for a 1-hit shutout, their 2nd of the season. In Game 3, LaSalle got out to an early lead, but the Scarlet Knights ended up pounding the Explorers and won 11-3. After a tough series, LaSalle headed home and took on Delaware State. The Explorers were trailing early on, but their bats came alive in the 7th inning, and LaSalle won 6-4.
Softball took on Dayton in an A-10 series starting on April 7th. It didn't go well as the Explorers were swept in the series and were unable to score more than 2 runs in any of the 3 games. In Game 1, LaSalle fell short of a comeback victory. The Flyers took the win by a score of 5-2. In Game 2, LaSalle took an early 2-1 lead before Dayton scored 2 unanswered runs in the 5th and 6th to win by a score of 3-2. In the final game of the series, the Blue and Gold once again found themselves down early with Dayton, scoring 4 runs in the first 3 innings. The Explorers would finally answer back in the 4th, scoring 2 runs. However, Dayton would score another 4 runs in the 4th and another in the 5th to induce the mercy rule.
The lacrosse team had 2 tough tests this past week, the first of which was at home against George Washington. The Explorers continued to show their offensive prowess as they racked up a season-high 34 shots in the contest and put up 13 goals. Unfortunately, the offensive output was not enough as they allowed 16 goals to their opponents. Their second game was on the road against UMass, and this game was not nearly as close. UMass scored their first goal just 14 seconds into the game, and they wouldn't stop anytime soon as they pounded 22 goals into the back of the net. The Explorers were no match and could only muster 10 goals themselves. Brittany Edwards and Bridget Rusky continued to shine for LaSalle, even through rough times, as they scored 7 and 6 goals respectively in the 2 losses.
The men's track and field team took part in the Sam Howell Invitational in Princeton, New Jersey. Freshman Dylan Burnett led the way with a victory in the 110-meter hurdles. Burnett crossed the finish line with a winning time of 14.7 seconds. Sophomore Ache Hall finished just behind him, his teammate in third, with a time of 14.8 seconds. Both Burnett and Hall also ran the 400-meter hurdles where they finished 7th and 8th respectively. Meanwhile, Ethan Cook was the runner-up in the 200-meter dash with a mark of about 22 seconds, while Chase Campbell placed 4th with a finish of 22.5 seconds. In the time being, Nick Smart finished 4th in the 800-meter run, clocking in at 1 minute and 51 seconds.
The women's track and field team also took part in the Sam Howell Invitational. The Explorers found success on a variety of events. Grace Mancini finished in 3rd place in the 3,000-meter steeplechase with a time just over 10 minutes. Jessica Bryant also finished 3rd in the long jump with a leap of 5.43 meters. Ariel Mitchell finished 5th in the 100-meter dash, while teammates Marissa Francis finished 13th. Mitchell also finished 9th in the 200-meter dash, crossing the finish line with a time of 25.2 seconds.
The men's golf team participated in the Villanova Wildcat Invitational in Malvern. LaSalle struggled on the first day of competition and were dead last in the standings. The Explorers made some improvements on day 2 and managed to move up to 18th. The men had 4 competitors card under 78. Nick Gruber had the best finish for the Explorers with 74. The women's team also competed this week. The Explorers traveled to Littlestown, Pennsylvania to compete at the Vanessa Picciotto Memorial Invitational. Redshirt freshman Maribel Declan led the way in the opening round, posting an individual score of 78 and placing herself at a tie for 3rd on the leaderboard. The team overall stood in 4th place with a combined score of 332 at the end of the first day. Declan again led the Explorers on the next day of the tournament play, posting the first top 10 finish of her career, carding a 79 at the end of the 2nd round. Despite Declan's success, the Explorers as a whole unfortunately dropped down to finish 5th out of 6 teams.
The women's water polo team had another rough weekend up in New York against MAAC opponents, Marist, VMI, and Wagner. LaSalle opened the weekend against the nationally ranked Marist team, whom the Blue and Gold fell to by a score of 20-2. Freshman Jillian Delisle netted 2 goals to add to her team leading total. LaSalle had a little more success against their next opponent, VMI, but were still defeated 11-5. The leading scorer for the Explorers was sophomore Caitlin Kubo, who scored 2 goals in the game. The team finished up their weekend against another nationally ranked team, this time number 17 Wagner. Scoring for LaSalle was divided up evenly between sophomores Stephanie Morales, freshman Carl Linden, and freshman Madison Martinez, who each had 1 goal as LaSalle fell in a tough one, 27-3.
The men's and women's tennis team both took on Big 5 rival Temple University, and they both got swept by the Owls 7-0. So moving on to a lighter note, the men's team then took on Rider and flipped the script as they earned a 7-0 victory over the Broncos. Junior Francesco Mauri and senior Tomas Christian earned a doubles win at the number 1 spot, and Patrick Pasquale and Joe Diorio earned a win in the number 2 spot. LaSalle also took the victories in the top 3 singles positions. The women's team also had some luck following the Temple loss as they swept Monmouth University with a 7-0 victory on Wednesday. This would give the team their 4th win of the season. Well, that's a lot of 7 and 0s,
Yeah,
getting
there's a lot
swept
of them.
and sweeping. But when we come back, we will sit down with Mackenzie Karcher of the women's field hockey team, so stay tuned.
What's up? Eddie Dunn here, host of LaSalle's favorite TV game show, Q&A. I'm here to tell you to keep watching LaSalle TV. It's on 24 hours a day, every day. You know what else is on 24 hours a day, every day? Nothing. Well, maybe some things, but nothing that's as important as LaSalle TV. So keep watching, or else.
Welcome back. Let's send it off now to producer Steve Silvestro and learn a little bit about the field hockey crew with senior Mackenzie Karcher.
Welcome to On the Sidelines. I'm Steven Silvestro. Here I have a fantastic guest with me. I have Mackenzie Karcher from the field hockey team. To start off, you guys had a quick start to the season last year, 5-2, 5 shutouts. What got you guys so hot in the beginning?
I think we just came into the season ready to play. We all worked hard over the summer, and our coaches really pounded us over the preseason to get us started, and we were all really just excited to play and get back out on the field.
All right, so you led the team with 10 goals and 2 assists, but you also in 1 week, back-to-back games, you Sienna and Ryder, you combined for 5 goals. What was going on that week?
Well, I mean, I'm successful with scoring goals, but mostly because of my teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So if my teammates weren't there to get the ball up to me in the circle, I wouldn't be able to score. And I think I'm just really aggressive, and that's really my position, is to score goals. I'm a forward. So I'm just I'm really eager to score goals every game. That's what I do.
Well, that's what you want to see from your attacker. Also, talk about your teammates. You're losing 6 seniors, including 3-time all A10 second team and the leading assister from last year. What are you guys looking to fill those gaps?
We definitely have some incoming freshmen this coming fall that will be able to fill the gaps, we hope. They supposedly have a lot of talent and have had major career in high school, great things. So we're lucky to have them coming in, and I think that we'll be okay, even though losing the seniors is going to hurt us, but we'll be able to fill it out.
With the recruits you just talked about, you have one, Willow. She's a sister of already a teammate. So how do you think that dynamic of a sister duo on the field will help?
I think it's going to make it really interesting. They're both really funny, and I know them personally. Logan, Willow's sister, is my roommate.
Okay.
And she's a really big asset to our team, and I think Willow's going to come in and feel comfortable, and she's just going to be a big asset as well.
All right. So with that, you're losing your seniors. Obviously, you're losing the captains. Who's the team looking to step up in that captain roles?
I would say us seniors. So there's 3 of us that are just 3 seniors this coming fall, which is myself, Logan, and Megan Kita, who is also a big asset to our team. So I think we already have the leadership role, and we'll be able to take over for that.
One thing with the leadership role you guys got going back and forth is you just lost your head coach and associate head coach. They both left, and now you got a new one. Kelly Broadway is coming in. She was a 3-year assistant at Villanova, and before that was 4 years with Temple. What do you know of her, and what are you guys looking to see how she'll change the game plan?
Well, we're really excited to have Kelly. She has tons of experience, and we know that she has a lot of things to offer us and knowledge. She played for the national team for a little bit in California, I think, and she starts on Monday. We're just really excited. I think that she's going to show us new things that we don't already know, and I really have a feeling that she's going to take us to the A-10 this year, which is our goal.
Now, you said she starts on Monday, but you haven't had a head coach, so how have the practices been going like the last few weeks?
So our goalie coach, Sarah, has stepped up, and she's done an awesome job. She's been running our practices and like coaching us at our tournaments. We've had 2 tournaments so far, and we're doing well. We're working as a team, and I think we're coming together, and just because we lost our 2 coaches, it hasn't stopped us from getting better.
All right, good. Now, one thing I have noticed, the 3 years you were here, you went 9-9, then you went 8-9, and then 9-8. You sadly, you were just short of making the playoffs all 3 years. What are you looking for your last year to get over that hump?
Well, I really want to go to A-10s. Like, I don't want to leave my field hockey career without going to the A-10 tournament, because that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
All season we work so hard for it, and we've missed it every year by like 1 game or so. And I think that just really putting the work in over the summer and everyone getting in shape and coming ready to play field hockey and just having the mindset of we want to win. And I think that Kelly coming, I already see that she has that mindset of winning. She's said it to us, that she wants to win and we won't lose unless the team is just flat out better than us. So I think that is going to have a really big impact, and we're going to go to the A-10s.
All right, so you obviously got like high hopes for this team. Personally, do you have any like expectations these off season and for next season for yourself?
For myself, well, I'm looking to do better than the last season, so hopefully I score more than 10 goals and continue being the leading goal scorer. But I also hope that overall as a team we get better and we make A-10s and even go farther than that.
All right, thank you for coming and joining us on the sidelines. That's all we have this week. Back to the desk.
When we come back, what are we going to talk about?
Talk about it. Let's
Sorry,
talk.
that was a great interview.
Yeah.
I love Mackenzie. She is going to be a senior next year. She's going to be a leader on the team. She's a really crazy goal scorer. So I really hope, and I know she hopes to bring that next year. And in addition to the new coach, I'm really excited for this coach. We've seen her do great things at Temple, great things at Villanova. I've heard great things. They haven't met her yet, which is kind of odd for like when you bring in a new coach.
She doesn't start until Monday, so that's a little weird. But they haven't ran practice yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've met her. Yeah, she just hasn't ran practice yet.
Right.
So Mackenzie couldn't really give us too much insight about how she is as a coach now. But I think it could only be a positive because I think we have talent on this team, and hopefully, the new coach can help be the missing piece, for this fall.
Yeah, I totally agree. They have 4 incoming players that are really impressive too. So hopefully they can have a good season this year.
Yeah. But when we come back, SportsLine correspondent Kevin Cook joins us on desk to talk about some upcoming baseball action. So stay tuned. There's plenty of LaSalle sports action this upcoming week, so let us welcome Kevin Cook for this week's Explorer Report.
Thanks, Dana. For this week's Explorer Report, our women's lacrosse team takes on A10 rival Duquesne this weekend. The Blue and Gold have a 4-8 record overall, while the Dukes are just 3-8. However, LaSalle has yet to get their first conference win, and because of that, they're just behind the Dukes in the standings. This is bound to be a tight game as the two teams match up evenly. Defensively, the Explorers will have to watch out for Jill Vacanti. The senior attacker leads the Dukes in goals, as she has hammered home 25 of them this season. Other players the Blue and Gold have to watch out for are Maddie Hart and Carly Braverman. The Blue and Gold have had a rough stretch as they have dropped their last 4 games. If they want to end that stretch, they will rely on Brittany Edwards and Bridget Ruskey. The Dukes have struggled to keep the ball out of their own net so far this year, and with Ruskey and Edwards combining for 70 goals, the Explorers match up well against the Dukes. The Explorers take on the Dukes at McCarthy Stadium on Friday night at 7.
Thanks, Kevin. So you said this was going to be like a little evenly matched, but tell us a little bit about what the advantage will be for LaSalle.
As I was saying there, with the two attackers, Edwards and Ruskey, the Explorers have a pretty solid offense, and it actually works out well for us because the Dukes' goaltending has been somewhat of a struggle this year for them. Both goalies are allowing almost like 700% or 7.7% of shots in the net, so they're allowing a lot of goals. So that is going to be a way that the Explorers can get back into this game.
Okay, cool. So we all have our predictions for this game. Yep. So let's start with Tegan.
I have LaSalle losing to Duquesne 14-11. I have not been the most confident with LaSalle at all this year, so I might as well not change that trend now.
That's some positive thinking. But I'm not much more positive because I have Duquesne winning as well, 12-7.
Now, I think that the Explorers are actually going to take this one, basically for the reasons that I was just saying with the offensive power that we have.
I like the positivity. I like it.
Well, that just about wraps it up for this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorer Report, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com or check out this week's edition of the Collegian.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Twitter at SportsLineLTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions there.
For Stephen, Kevin, and our SportsLine team, I'm Tegan Lamont.
And I'm Dana Pecora. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you at the game.